Hello and welcome to my second part of my tutorial series about C# and OpenGL. In this tutorial we are gonna look at how we can create a rectangle in OpenGL, and we will take a further look into shaders. So if you don't have this set up already, so if you started, you should see a triangle, an arch triangle. I would suggest looking at my previous tutorial, which you can find in the description. I will also go into why I'm even making this tutorial series, and you will just have a good setup. So yeah, once you have this, let's take a look at how we can make a rectangle. So for a rectangle, you can't actually draw a rectangle in OpenGL. Like there's no draw rectangle function. What you have to do is you have to draw two triangles. So how would we do this? We have our triangle here. So what we could do is just add 3 more vertices. So we have 2 triangles and draw that. But as you can see, or if you look at a rectangle, it only has four vertices. You know, there's only like 4 points, 4 corners. So it wouldn't be very efficient to have 6 vertices. So what we can do is we can use an element buffer object, or EBO, to reuse some vertices. So how we can do this is by using indices and then specifying what vertices we want to reuse. So first of all, let's change our vertices a bit. So we want this to be, the top one to be top right. So we go into this. So this is top right. Now we want this to be bottom right. It is bottom right already. And this to be 0. Why this as well? This is bottom left, and this is top left. This has to be plus. So now you have those 4 vertices: top right, bottom left, and top left. So now we need to specify which of those we want to, or in what order we want to draw the triangles. So we make an array of units called indices. There we go. And it's giving already. So we want to draw our first triangle using top right, bottom right, and top left. Then we want to draw our second triangle by using bottom right, bottom left, and top left. That's what these indices are for. But now we need to tell our program that we even have these indices. And we do this by using an element buffer object. So we already know how objects work, kind of at least. So we just make another int element buffer object and go to onload. Here we do our buffer or our object stuff. So after the vertex buffer object, maybe let's just put this as generate buffer, which we also did here. Now we need to bind it, so just gl bind buffer. What do we want to bind? The element array buffer, then we give it the element array buffer, and the element, not element array buffer, the element buffer object, my bad. And now we give it data, so again element array buffer, and now the second argument is the size of the indices, so just put indices.length times the size of the of what you put. So for example, these could be floats or ints, but floats don't really make any sense. Ints, okay, more than floats, but units make the most sense. So you gotta change this depending on what you put. Then we have to actually pass in the indices and how you want to draw it. Again, we'll use static draw. And now what we need to do is we need to just draw it a bit differently. This should already be fine. In our draw function, we bind this again, but we don't draw a race. What we do is we'll draw elements. We want to draw triangles, and we give it the length of our indices. We give it the elements type, which is unsigned int, which again is this uint means unsigned int, and then we just pass in 0. This is just pass in 0 because we want to draw everything that is like an offset. So if you run this, we should be able to see. Oh, okay, we don't. But able to read this off, very corrupted. Ah, yeah. This we can't put it here. What we have to do is put it down here. This should work. Maybe you have to put it below this actually. But let's try this first. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, of course you have to, you can only have the element buffer object after you have bound the vertex array object, or just won't work. You just have to first bind this and then bind this. So yeah, and now we have our rectangle. I hope you all followed this already, and this wasn't like the most hard thing, or you got everything, because now we are gonna take a look at some more shaders. Basically, we can have some more uniforms or some other stuff in our shaders. So what we want to do is what we want to do, maybe let's change the color depending on like the time. So let's go into our shader, to our fragment shader, and let's have a uniform type rec for our color something, not out color, our color, and we'll just have rec color be our color. So uniform, we can just basically set this variable or give it value in our code. So we set the we give it some value in our code, and then it's gonna give this value to frag color, which is just the color for the vertex. So now let's just maybe put anything you want. Maybe after shader.use, let's do gl.uniform4, because it's a vector 4. Now we put, first we need to get the location. So we do int vertex color location, and then we do gl get uniform location. We pass in our shader handle, and we pass in the variable name. So this one, our color. Doesn't find this. Let's go into shader. Okay, we have to make this public. There we go, just make this public. We should be able to, there we go. And now that we have the location, you can just pass this in here. And now you can just say what we want. Let's just pass in, I don't know, 0.5, 0.3, 1, and this 1. And if we start this now, it shouldn't be orange anymore, but it should be this color. I don't know what is this, like violet? Yeah. Okay, so now that we have this violet rectangle, we want to take a look more into shaders. So we want to change this a bit by updating it live. We are actually updating this live already because we're doing it on render frame, but we are always setting it to the same color. So let's do something else. Let's make a stopwatch. And the stopwatch, we have to start this maybe after here. Start. And now the stopwatch is just gonna keep counting, and we can use this. So we will use this by first of all maybe logging this. Not here. So just log timer, but let's dot total seconds. Now if we run this in the console, you should see, yeah, you should see the seconds going up. So let's save this in a bubble maybe. Time value, yeah. Now we want to change, let's say we want to change, yeah, like this, our green value. So just do math.syn. So we have a nice syn function. You might know this from math class. You should know this from math class, but if not, it's totally fine. We pass in our time value, and then just divide it by 2 plus 0.5 is just so it looks nicer. And we have to cast off this to float. Now we already have our location up here. So instead of the green value, which is this value, we'll just put this 0, and we'll put this 0, and this is gonna be our green value. Now if we run this program, yeah, you can see it's getting bright and then really dark to actually black. Because if it's 0, it's black. And yeah, now we have learn more shaders. In the next tutorial we will go a bit more to shaders, and then we'll start by looking into textures. So yeah, subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and see you in the next video.